Police sirens screaming down my driveway because of a pink inflatable boat. Yeah, you heard that right. You ever have a moment so absurd, so completely outside the lines of normal life, that you just have to sit back and laugh? Well, there I was, floating in the middle of my own private lake, trying to find a sliver of peace after the ugliest divorce you could imagine, when three police cruisers rolled up like I was smuggling moonshine or something. Apparently, the president of our HOA, Dorothy Martinez, decided my therapy float, a flamingo pink raft my ex-wife left behind, was destroying the dignity of our neighborhood and needed to be dealt with by the full force of law. The absolute nerve, right? But here's the thing about karma. Sometimes it comes quicker than you'd think. The police barely had time to leave before I made a single phone call that would turn the whole neighborhood upside down. By the end of this story, you'll see how one ridiculous little boat kicked off the most satisfying revenge plot I've ever orchestrated. And maybe, just maybe, how it turned into something way bigger than either of us could have seen coming. Let's back up a sec. I'm Ryan Torres, 34, recently single, and nursing the wounds of an 8-year marriage that ended in a pile of paperwork and a bank account just big enough to buy myself a rundown ranch out in rural Texas. My old life as a tech consultant was comfortable, sure, until my wife decided she wanted half of everything: the house, the car, and somehow even the dog. I ended up with my pride, a battered sense of self, and a chunk of change that, after the dust settled, was supposed to buy me some kind of peace. The ranch had its own little lake, and that was all I needed, a place to disappear for a while. That pink inflatable boat, a parting gift from my ex that was probably meant as a joke, ended up saving me. Every morning, I'd float out there, a book in my lap, sometimes just my thoughts, letting the quiet seep back into my bones. But peace in a neighborhood with a legendary HOA president? Not a chance. Dorothy was a retired principal, ran the HOA like a general, and apparently, my floating therapy sessions didn't fit her vision of lakeside living. The morning she called the police, I saw her standing on the dock across the water, arms crossed, watching me like she'd just caught me dumping radioactive waste. That look, man, it burned itself into my memory. The cops were as confused as I was. One even apologized as he explained the complaint. "Environmental hazard," he said, deadpan, looking at my neon pink raft bobbing in the middle of the lake. I stayed polite, told them this was my lake, my property, and my harmless boat. They shrugged, advised me to work it out with the neighbors, and left. Dorothy watched the whole thing, looking like she'd just won the lottery. But here's where things turned. As soon as the cops pulled out, I found myself dialing the first real estate office I could Google. "Any commercial properties near Paradise Cove Marina for sale?" I asked. The agent on the line sounded hungry. "You mean the marina itself? It's quietly for sale right now." My heart stopped. Turns out, the marina Dorothy worshipped was on the market. A desperate seller, too. That was all I needed to hear, that I had the money. I had nothing left to lose. And I was just petty enough, after months of being trampled by life, to consider buying Dorothy's precious marina right out from under her. But then, twist number one. Late that night, staring out at the lake, I couldn't shake a feeling. Why would someone care so much about a pink boat? Why sell a place she loved? I started digging. The truth floored me. Dorothy wasn't some villain. She was drowning. The marina needed massive repairs, $400,000 worth, and the HOA's coffers were empty. Dorothy had been secretly pouring her own retirement savings into the place, mortgaging her house, trying everything to keep her late husband Miguel's dream alive. She was about to sell the marina to a developer, thinking they'd preserve it, but their version of restoration meant bulldozing everything for luxury condos. Suddenly, my revenge fantasy felt hollow. Instead of going after Dorothy, I started a video blog, Saving Paradise Cove Marina, documenting its state, sharing the history, asking the community, "Do we want to lose this place?" The response was instant. Families, old-timers, newcomers. Everyone had stories about the marina: weddings, childhood summers, sunsets on the dock. The place wasn't just a patch of land. It was the soul of the neighborhood. That's when Mrs. Wilson, a 40-year resident, invited me for coffee. She showed me a faded photo, two men in hard hats. One was Miguel, the other my father. Turns out, our dads built the original marina together in the 70s. I'd never known. Meanwhile, Dorothy was panicking. She called an emergency HOA meeting, tried to push through the developer's offer. I got up to speak, but instead of offering help, I went on the attack, criticizing her leadership, calling for new management. The room turned on me fast. People stood up for Dorothy, listing all the things she'd done for the community. I felt like a complete fool. Afterward, Dorothy found me in the empty hall, and her guard dropped. "You think I want to sell this place?" she said, voice trembling. "I'm losing everything. I've mortgaged my home, spent my life savings. Miguel built this for the community, and I'm failing him." I realized then this wasn't about rules or pride. It was about a woman fighting to save her husband's legacy and protect her neighbors, using the only tools she had left. That night, I recorded an apology for takes before I got it right. I admitted I'd been wrong, told everyone about our father's partnership, and proposed what I should have from the start. Let's work together. I'd invest what I had left for repairs. Dorothy would bring the know-how and community trust. Together, maybe we could save the place, honor both our families, and keep the developers out. Dorothy called the next morning. "Ryan, the developer's contract is due in an hour. If I don't sign, I lose my house next month. I can't do this alone." It hit me. She'd risked everything, was days from homelessness, all to save a dock and a dream. My own father, it turned out, had left me an inheritance with a clause, $500,000, only to be used for preserving lake community memories. He'd known. 30 years ago, he'd planned for exactly this that we met at the marina, an hour before the developer's deadline. I told Dorothy about the inheritance, the trust, and made my proposal. I'd cover her mortgage, fund the restoration, on one condition: convert the marina into a community trust, not HOA property. She'd be director for life. I'd handle the finances. No more outside buyers, ever. She agreed. We took it to the community, read Miguel's and my father's letters, told the whole story. The vote wasn't even close. 80% in favor. During renovations, digging the foundation for a new pavilion, the crew unearthed a military ammunition box, sealed, wrapped in plastic. Inside, blueprints, photographs, letters from Miguel to future generations, and the legal proof the marina was always meant for the community, not private control. Our dads had even planned for Dorothy and me to work together someday. Guess you can't fight destiny. The news spread. Property values soared. Families lined up for boat slips, and the marina calendar was booked for years out. Dorothy, once the rigid enforcer, became a beloved director, organizing history projects, sailing lessons, and neighborhood potlucks. I handled logistics and helped other communities start their own preservation trusts. The pink boat that started it all. Now the official marina mascot. Kids take photos with it, and we sell pink boat keychains to fund youth programs. And as for revenge, turns out the sweetest victory isn't crushing your enemy. It's realizing you were both fighting for the same thing all along. Dorothy and I, sitting on that dock as the sun goes down, sometimes we just laugh about how it all started. Our father's dream survived not because of rules or property values, but because two stubborn people finally learned to listen, let go of their pride, and build something together. So, let me ask you, have you ever misjudged someone, only to find out you were both fighting the same battle? Drop your thoughts below. Do you believe in destiny, or was this just a wild coincidence? And if this story hit home, share it, so more folks can see what happens when a pink boat, an unlikely friendship, and a second chance come together at just the right time.